What's up, guys? The Snowman here. We've got a brand new hockey season on the horizon. Figured it'd be an appropriate time to do an NHL League Format Explained video. I've explained the league formats of most of the other major North American leagues, NFL, NBA, MLB, but excited to tackle the NHL today. We're going to go over everything regarding the league structure of the National Hockey League, the number of teams, the schedule, the format, the playoffs, and more. The National Hockey League, considered to be the top-ranked professional ice hockey league in the entire world. The first season was played all the way back in 1917, 1918, so over 100 years of history. In terms of the number of teams, there's been a lot of expansion in recent years. As of the 2025 season, the NHL is comprised of 32 teams, 25 of them in the US, with 7 franchises that reside in Canada. Those 32 teams are split up into 2 conferences of 16 teams each, an Eastern and a Western conference. Furthermore, each conference is divided up into 2 divisions of 8 teams each. So in the East, we have the Atlantic and the Metropolitan Division, both with 8 teams. Then in the West, we have 2 more divisions in the Central and the Pacific. So 4 divisions of 8 to get our 32 teams total. This is a geographic layout of all 32 franchises. Again, 25 in the US, 7 in Canada, 3 new franchises just in the last 10 years. So expansion, a great thing. The NHL, a league that has seen tremendous growth in recent times. The Vegas Golden Knights were an expansion club back in 2017. Then we had the Seattle Kraken join in 2021. The latest team to be founded, Utah Hockey Club in Salt Lake City. They're brand new as of the year 2024. As for the format of the National Hockey League, that's comprised of a regular season plus a postseason or a playoff period. We have an annual draft in the offseason in June and then a preseason in September. But really the action picks up with the start of the regular season. For the regular season, that typically runs from October through April. In that time, all 32 teams will play an 82-game regular season slate. Very similar structure to the National Basketball Association. 41 of those 82 games are at home and then 41 games on the road, so it's even for every team. For the regular season structure and how every team's opponents are determined each year, the way it works is that each team plays 26 total games within their own division. We mentioned before that the NHL has 4 divisions of 8 teams each, so within that, a team plays 5 of their division opponents 4 times and 2 of their division opponents 3 times for a total of 26 games. Just know that if 2 teams are in the same division, that generally means they'll be playing each other more often each year than, say, teams that are in opposite conferences. 24 of the games are within the conference but non-divisional, so each team plays the other 8 teams in their conference 3 times each for a total of 24 games. And then for the 16 teams that are in the opposite conference, they play each of them twice, so 2 times 16 equals a total of 32 interconference matchups. All in all, that's how we get to our 82 games every regular season, 26 divisional games plus 24 conference games plus 32 non-conference games equals 82. Now, this is an example of the Eastern Conference final regular season standings during the 2023-24 season. Essentially, how it works is that for every game played, a team is awarded 2 points for a win, 0 points for a loss, and 1 point if they lose in overtime or a penalty shootout. Because of this point system, a team's position in the standings is based off of their point total, not necessarily a winning percentage like we see in the NFL or NBA. For example, the New York Islanders actually finished the regular season with fewer wins than the Washington Capitals. The Islanders had 39 wins, Capitals had 40. However, since the Islanders had 5 more overtime losses than Washington, their point total was actually greater and they finished higher in the standings. 39 wins times 2 equals 78 points for the wins, and then New York also received 16 points total for their 16 overtime defeats for a total point value of 94 on the season. This is how the Western Conference standings looked in 2024. Once every team plays all 82 games on the schedule, we total up the points, and 8 teams from each conference qualify for the playoffs. Of those 8 teams, we take 3 from each division along with the 2 best wildcard teams. So here in the West, Dallas, Winnipeg, and Colorado all qualified because they had the 3 highest point totals in the Central Division. We also had Vancouver, Edmonton, and LA make the playoffs from the Pacific Division. And then also in the West, Nashville and Vegas grabbed the 2 wildcard spots as the best remaining teams in the conference. It's a little convoluted, but most of the time it's going to come out to the 8 best teams from each conference making it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which are played from April to June each year. This is a look at the playoff bracket in 2024. It's a 16-team bracket with 8 Western teams on the left, 8 Eastern teams on the right. The way we position each team in this bracket is each division gets their own quadrant. So you can see in the top left, we have our 3 best Central teams. Dallas was the best team in the Central, so they're C1. Each division winner gets matched up against a wild card team. In this case, it was Vegas. Winnipeg is C2, Colorado C3, so they played each other in the first round. Bottom left is the Pacific Division. P1 was Vancouver, so they got to face a wild card team in Nashville. P2 and P3 play each other. Here it was the Oilers and Kings. Same exact setup on the right side with the Eastern Conference. The best Atlantic teams were positioned in the top right, with the best teams from the Metropolitan Division placed in the bottom right to complete our bracket. After that, it's relatively straightforward. We have 4 rounds of playoffs. Each round is a best of 7 series, with the first team to 4 wins advancing to the next round. The better ranked team gets to play at home in games 1, 2, 5, and 7, while the lower ranked team gets home ice advantage in games 3, 4, and 6. Whoever wins moves on to the next round. We have a first round, second round, a pair of conference finals, and then our 4th and final round is the Stanley Cup finals between each conference's champion. One final 7-game series to determine a winner of the entire season. In this case, it was the Florida Panthers edging out the Edmonton Oilers in 7 thrilling games. And then one last thing, a quick look at the all-time Stanley Cup titles list. As of 2023, the Montreal Canadiens, the all-time leader with 24 Stanley Cups, an incredible achievement. Behind them is a quartet of fellow Original Six franchises in the Toronto Maple Leafs, Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, and Boston Bruins. There's definitely so much history with the game of hockey. I'm excited to see which teams add to this list in the many years to come. Thanks a lot for watching my NHL League Format Explained video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and like and subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more sports content and weekly videos. Cheers!